Okay, take 295. Action. Hi guys, it has been a, camera fail city. Anyway, that's just my luck with technology. Anyway, I've popped on to do a final finished walkthrough of this 2-page signature for Shar Fisher's 300 plus Subbie giveaway challenge. So what Shar has asked for is, let's pretend that this is an A4 piece of paper. So what she's asked for is a piece of paper folded in half, front, back decorated, and the inside in any style that you choose. So this is my style. As you know, I don't do pretty. No frills, no things like that. I mean, I love lace and I love the prettiness of it, but I'm not very good at it. So this is my take on pretty. What you see is what you get, guys. Okay, so everything, for those who are new to my channel, everything I make, I try and use recycled items only. Obviously, when it comes to glue and paints and things like that, yeah, you've got to buy those, unfortunately. But I try and make it as recycled as possible. Now, I'll do a really quick walk through. Well, it'll be long. Be as quick as I can. Anyway, so if you've seen from my previous video on this, there's a little ruffle that I made from fabric. I'm not sure what sort of fabric it's called. It's this stuff here. Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but I've just cut a strip off and made a ruffle, and I've lined the outside of this. I have, I'll just quickly bring this up, shopping bags full of fabric. I have like 6 of them. That has been gifted to me by a lovely lady. Thank you so much, Julie, if you're watching this. Julie doesn't have a YouTube that I'm aware of. She doesn't have an Etsy store, but she has generously given me so many bags of fabric that it's going to take me a lifetime to get through. Anyway, back to this. So I've used fabric from all those bags, well, not all of them, but you know what I mean, in here, as well as this. This is the back of a lounge chair that I found on Curbside Cleanup. I did a Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde, and I just slashed the back of that lounge chair, and I got this beautiful fabric. Yeah, so I've used a little bit of that to make the front of this. And this here is a bit of what do you call it, like a snippet trim that I purchased from Pretty Paper Crafts 67. Anyone I mention in this video, guys, I'll leave in the details below so you can check them out. So I purchased this from their store, and they're coffee dyed ruffles and lace bits of fabric that she's made. So that's where I got those from. And this little appliques here come out of those bags, and I've made a little tiny origami bird out of graph paper. It was from one of my son's old school books, probably last year or the year before. I don't know, I have a pile of them. What else have we got? This here is made from a tea bag. It's just a scrap of tea bag, and I've got a bit of lace in there. I've got some vintage buttons. This thread that holds these buttons on is actually the spare threads that's come off this when I've cut it. So I've reused the thread from here. This little piece of strip of, I don't know what you call it. It's like a yarn. Come from Krista Neal from Secondhand Creations. She sent me a beautiful handmade recycled envelope little book here, which I love. and that was wrapped up with that. So I've used a little bit on there. What else have we got? This little charm, I have stuck a bit of napkin in there and I've covered it in glossy accents. So there's that. Some old burlap or hessian trim that I've used on here. My tea-dyed paper that I've stenciled. Now this little book, look, it's actually a book. It opens up. So I've got napkin here and some old scraps of tea-dyed paper that I've put in here. And these also, most of these come from my son's school books. This is a year 1 school book, that one. So like I said, I have tons of school books that I've got to try and use up. So let me just put that there. And the napkin here's on the other side with just a little bit of lace trim that I've had hoarded for a long while. So I've put that there. Now for the inside, excuse me guys, still trying to breathe through dust here because of all the roadworks that are still happening. Anyway, moving on to the inside, I've made a little envelope here out of tea-dyed, just spare tea-dyed paper. It has a little flip out note there. It's just scrap paper. And I've printed out like a copy of this calligraphy out of my dad's calligraphy book, which I'm very fortunate to have in my possession. So I use images from that every now and then. So I have that. This is a envelope that I made probably about 2 years ago. I haven't made another one, so this is the only one I've ever made. So Shar, you can have it. I plan on making more. I was just experimenting and I thought, yeah, that's easy enough, and I've never made another one. So inside, this is just deli paper that you get or butcher's paper that you get your meats wrapped in. So I've just grunged it up a little bit, put a bit of stenciling. Nope, it's upside down. And stamping there. That's about it. And it just closes with a magnetic catch. This is some old wallpaper that I got from Reverse Garbage a couple of months ago, and I've just made it into an envelope, and I've put some lace appliques in here that I've cut up from the fabric in these bags. So they're in there. And this little gorgeous piece of lace here actually belonged to my grandma. I have it now. So I don't have much, but I've put a little bit here. I think it looks nice on top of this tea bag. So under here is a tea bag that I've actually there's 3 tea bags that I've sewn together, and I've turned it into a pocket, and I've just covered it with that little bit of lace to give it I don't know. So that's that. So and my tea-dyed paper in the inside. So I'll just put these back. And just a little paper clip that I've thrown together there. Alright, now this page here, there is no rhyme or reason whatsoever. It was in my head and I just had to get it out. So this is the end result. So let me have a quick walkthrough. I'll just show you here. This is part of an old tablecloth, the same as this here, come off the same tablecloth. I found it at the op shop. Too good to pass up. These little things here down the side are just rolled up pieces of junk mail that I've squished down, and I've covered in scraps of sari silk down the sides with some eyelash trim underneath. The page itself is actually made from layers and layers and layers of junk mail that I've, covered. And I've turned it into like a little clothesline slash garden. Like I said, the things that are in my head, guys, are scary sometimes. But I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I've just added some little flowers. I've sewn together some fabric here just to make a makeshift flower. Doesn't look that crash hot, but it does the job. This little fence is just leftover scraps of cardboard, probably from a cereal box or from Coke box. I don't know, I can't remember. Like a soft drink box. Bits of wire that have actually come out of an old electrical cable that I have used to hold my fence together with. So there's that, with a bit of fabric underneath to cover up all that junk mail that I've used. This is just a copy of a bank slip, so I'll put that in there. It makes a nice little tuck spot, or you could have the tuck spot up under here, either or. Okay, try and get that back in there. Now it doesn't want to play. There we go. So the little clothesline, I've just hung a bit of curtain fabric here. I'll just try and grab my letter. I love my letter opener, guys. It's my multi-purpose tool. So there's that. Excuse me. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in here, in the front cover, is a pocket. I haven't put anything in there, but Shar can put stuff in there if she so chooses. It's just another little hidey hole. So we go to the middle page, and the middle page is just a security envelope on some of my tea-dyed paper, and I've just scrunched it up a little bit, put some stamping. The little flower is made from sewing, the pattern paper that you cut up to, you know, sew your stuff together. It was a, you know, a bit of, I think that's a bit of sequin material or something, and some burlap there. This little trim is tea bag. I've made it similar to this here on the front. I've just cut a strip, and I think there was 3 tea bags end to end that I glued together, and I cut a strip and just put a running stitch up the middle. I gathered it all up, folded it up, and made a little trim out of tea bags. So there's that, as well as another security envelope, which I've sewn around the edges, and there's graph paper inside with just a bit of stamping. I've put in just a printed copy of a postcard, so I'll put that in there. And just off an old cereal box card, which I have collaged with book pages, map pages, a layer of gesso, and then I have put on the napkins. So they're just napkins there. These little rings, I'll explain where they come from later. And just some scrap fabric out of those bags. So put that in there. Now the next page. Now this page, I'll just pull this out for now. This page is actually one of these. A couple of years ago I had this brilliant idea that I was going to make a yearly planner. Yeah, we can tell that worked out. It's still in progress, but I have been stealing these. Like I said, I made this a couple of years ago, so I thought I'd use one of these in here. So that's what that is. So I've just stuck that in there, which has covered up this, and that there is the background of the back of one of these, if that makes sense. Okay, so all it is just the manila folder and some what do you call that stuff, scrapbooking paper. So that's all it is. And I put reinforcement rings because I was going to join them all together with rings, but I couldn't find the right size rings, and I think that's what really put me off finishing it. So when I laid this down on here, I had to cut off this side where the rings were, so I've utilized those rings and I put on this tag. So there's one on the front and one on the back. Waste not, want not, hey guys. So that's all this is. I think it was August, it said here, and I found one of these little scrappy things that I'm pretty sure come from Bonnie and Clyde in a mail I received. So I just stuck that over the top of the word August. This little baggie, I actually made this on camera a couple of videos back. The only thing that I didn't do was stick it on this, but it's just an index card that I've cut out and made a tab. I've used the rest of this snippet roll strip here on to here, and I've stuck the bag. It's just one of these keep your cutlery clean bags. So that's all that is, and I've just cut so you can get 2 bags out of, you know, one of those. So I've added some burlap and some cambric gauze. Just pull them off. Some cambric gauze and just a printout that I found in amongst a box of stuff I had here. This is leftover burlap, and that blue fabric is, let me dig in here. I'm not sure whether you want a complete walkthrough, guys, but you're going to get one. if you don't want it, just turn it off. That's all you have to do. So this here, these little appliques that I chopped up, the leftover trim on the bottom here, I used there. I'm not sure where that butterfly come from, that wooden butterfly button, but yeah, it was in my stash, so I thought, I might as well just use that. And the same thing with this cotton, it's just from the lounge chair fabric. There's a bit of the lounge chair there as well. Now, this here is one of those, the tops off your cereal box or your snack things where once you open it, you lock it in place. So that's all that is, with some vintage buttons, some sewing, book page collage, and this cotton here come off, going the wrong way, it come off this page. So when I frayed the edge of this fabric, which is this here, it's a really different fabric. Look, it's strange fabric, is nice. I just pulled off, I'll just do that here. So I just pulled that thick bit of cotton out, and I've used that to secure these buttons on here. So we'll just put that in there, pop this back in here. Now, where are we going? We've done the front, we've done it now for the back. So we'll turn this over. Now on the back here, I have made a 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets, well, tuck spot as you call it, and it's made from 5 book pages. So you've got your 1 book page, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there's 5 book pages to make 1 4 tuck spot. And I just covered it with a napkin, and I've sewn it to, well, sewn it, and then I've stuck it to the back. So there's that. As you can see, that burlap trim goes all the way around the back as well. This little booklet here I have made from one of these post bags that you get, and inside of these ones was bubble wrap. So it's paper, but it's got bubble wrap inside. So I've pulled the bubble wrap off, and I'm left with a shiny, like there's still a plastic film on there, but it adds to the sturdiness of the paper. So that's all that was. So I've made that out of that, with some sewing, a bit of the lounge chair fabric, just a bit of fabric trim there, and an old scrap bit off a tablecloth. Paper bag inside, lining it, just little tuck spots. That's just a little tiny little notepad there. Pop that in behind there. So yeah, like I said, just scraps of tea-dyed paper. I've just sewn it straight down the middle. Another little tuck spot. So that goes in here. I have to put it that way because if I put it this way, all my little embellishments get caught on the pocket. So I'll put it in that way, and we're right. Okay, now this here is what do you call it, wallpaper that I purchased from Bonnie and Clyde from her Etsy store. It's just some vintage vintage wallpaper that she got from Reverse Garbage, and she just made some wallpaper packs. So I bought a pack of, I think I bought two packs or one pack, I can't remember now. But these are from there, and I've just sewn around the outside, and I've done some stenciling on this one. So there's that. Yeah, this one here I'd run out of brown cotton, and the only shade of brown I had was darker, so half of it's dark and the other half's light, but it works. Yeah, but anyway, so we put that in here like so. Yep. And just a coin envelope. I've just put a little scrap of paper in there. It's just a little scrap of stamped paper. So I've just popped that in here. And yeah, it's just in a little coin envelope. So I will put that in there. So there we go, guys. That is it. That is my final signature for Shar's challenge. Sorry it took so long, but I like to explain where things come from, give people shouts out when I can. So all the people I've mentioned in this video I will pop in the description below. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy this when you receive it, Shar. I was going to wait until she received it to put this up, but I'll put this up now because I'm proud of this, and I would like her to see it, you know, before she gets it. So there we go, guys. That's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I've noticed I have a few, and a big huge thank you to all the ones who are sticking around. It means a lot. And until the next video, guys, give your loved ones a hug. They're precious, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.